Get your cup of joe. Welcome to Two Guys Garage. Now, if you've been following along, this is our Federated Auto Parts Sweet Ride giveaway, and it's almost done. But before we do, we want to take it to a car show today, show you some sweet rides, see how the vet enthusiasts feel about it, and we're going to dig into a clutch assembly and show you how to change it out on your car. Been doing a lot of maintenance on this 04 Vet, and you see, this is one of our problems, is the hood keeps dropping on my head. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. It's really easy. Take a screwdriver, pop the clip, and then you've got this kind of ball stud here that it's going to go onto. Now we've got a company called Strong Arm that we've got this from, and they make all kinds from hatchbacks to trunk lids to hoods, you name it. Clip it on, and you're done. Swing! Done.
Yeah, well, speaking of done, it's clean.
Hey, look, man. Look, you see all these Duragloss products? You don't think I can clean a vet with all that?
Yeah, but not in the time I was gone. Dude, that's a lot of car. Inside, outside, underside.
Certified detail master.
Well, yeah. I know you got some skills, but I've never seen them work that fast.
My laptop. All right.
You
know what? I knew you were going to be like this. We
got
filmed
video
it.
proof here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now watch and learn. So, first thing, get it good and clean, you know, yeah. Then I use some clay, get the impurities out, which is nice and easy. Now, once we get under the hood, I want to get this,
yeah, I see.
Once I get under the hood, I'm going to use this all-purpose cleaner. Works great for there, wheels, anywhere around.
What's with the girl arms?
Look, you know what, you really should pay attention. Did you see the detail spray?
Yeah.
Now, this stuff you can use on engine compartments. See how nice that looked? On the plastic, you can use it on the tires. And this stuff is cool because you don't wipe it off. It just stays nice and clear. Silicone base. All right. So here I'm spraying off the car.
You're spraying
off.
Who is this guy?
You know, well, I mean, these guys are walking by. They're just watching.
There's the girl arm.
They're watching.
You got a whole crew here.
Whatever. So now the next thing is just dry in one pass. Do it gently. Make sure that you have a nice towel. Finally, take the wax. Here I'm rubbing it on. I'm doing the door handles right here. And look, I mean, you see what we've come out with. It's beautiful.
Well, I tell you what, you did a great job with your friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Actually, I think I want to take some notes because that's the way to get a lot of work done pretty quick.
And there's proof, you know, right there in the video. What can I say?
Well, that's a pretty nice job, man. The thing's looking pretty good. Maybe we should go for a joyride.
Let's go.
All right.
Get it!
Look at that, tip-in's good, response is good, sound is great.
Much better. Let me try them again.
All right, give him a shout.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What are you doing?
Whoa, in the digital age.
Wow, I can't believe you're actually video conferencing from the track. That's impressive.
Guys, you think I don't keep up with times? I know how to do this stuff, but we're at the races now. We're getting ready to race.
I got some good news. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Check it out. Woo!
Wow. Hey, wait a minute. You guys painted it too?
You know we painted it. Would you think we were going to leave it alone? Yeah.
How you like that?
MagnaFlow exhaust. How you like that?
Wow. That looks good.
Check out these wheels that Mid-America Motorworks gave us.
Yep, new shoes. Yep.
XRC brakes, so we got all new rotors and calipers.
New pads, new SSD pads. These things were spent, they had a lot of miles on them. If you remember, that one rotor was on backwards, so brakes are all nice and tight. Oh yeah, remember that shimmy? Shimmy is gone. Moog suspension parts, replace that tie rod, ready to go.
KYB shocks, looking really good. Now, how about that? Huh?
It looks brand new. It looks better than my dinner plate. I could eat off that thing.
But we did more than clean it. Remember that misfire? Engine misfiring and running kind of rough? Well, it was a coil. We threw a new S&P coil at it, new plug wires, new plugs. She's running good. But we also flushed the system, so the whole fuel system's nice and clean. But we didn't stop there. We took the whole air inlet system from K&N. So we got nice, clean, fresh air coming in, a little more horsepower. All the way to the back, we got the MagnaFlow exhaust coming out the back, so it sounds good and it runs good.
One more finishing touch I want to show you. We've got your sponsor, Federated Auto Parts, right there in your black and tan seats. All new interior pieces.
Mid-American Motor Works did a great job on that seats, interior pieces. Can't believe how good it looks. There's going to be a Federated car care member, he or she, that's going to be thrilled to have this thing sitting in the driveway.
Well, we had a great time. I'm actually headed out to a Corvette show right now. We're going to check out some Corvette dudes and see if they like your car, but it's ready, so come get it. We'll see you soon. We got our Corvette, we brought it out to a gathering here of vet enthusiasts, as you can see, and we brought t-shirts, so we're gonna butter them up a little bit, and hopefully that'll make them really like our vet. So, anybody want a t-shirt? Oh yeah! Woo! 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 It's a t-shirt frenzy! They're going crazy! Andre,
hey,
looking good, man.
Thanks.
Latest?
The latest.
Well,
you can see we're taking a little bit of the rainwater off. Rain won't hold us back.
It doesn't melt most of us.
No.
A couple of people it will.
Absolutely.
So tell me about it.
This particular car is my 2005 Corvette. Fundamentally, when you're a Corvette enthusiast like myself, you try to mix the past and the future. In this particular case, this car is a combination of those two things. In 2005, when Chevrolet came out with the new Z06, which was their super performance car, there were some rumors around about a supercharged version called the Blue Devil. This is my iteration of the Blue Devil, a supercharged, wide-body convertible. The one thing that GM wouldn't make until now, which is now called the Grand Sport. So this is my baby.
Man, I bet this thing is a hoot to drive.
It is a hoot to drive. We're gonna have to let you try.
Well, we actually brought a clutch to give away to somebody.
Okay, all right.
So you think you could help us find a candidate?
I would
maybe?
be absolutely happy to.
All
Sure.
right, cool.
Sure.
All right. Now, it doesn't get more rare than the fuel-injected, Panama yellow, 4-speed, 1958 Corvette. And at this little gathering, it's pretty cool because you can see the evolution. You move now to the 63 327 split window, maroon with the Kragers. But if you want to say technology, if you want to talk about high-end and speed, nothing gets more hot than the ZR1. 640 horse, 3.4 second 0 to 60 time, 3,300 pound animal. This baby will fly, and that has really come a long way in 40 years. So I couldn't help but notice this Frost Blue 58. This is a beauty, and I get to talking with the owner, and I said, so what size is it? And he goes, well, I've got the 53, the 54, the 56.
Hey, Brian, I think I got a candidate for our clutch install.
Okay. Hey.
Over here, we've got my friend Curtis's 2002 Corvette Z06.
Oh, that should work.
Yeah, he's been complaining about it slipping in third gear a little bit.
There you go.
So this would be a great
Perfect.
candidate for our clutch.
And you, since you work on these a lot, probably know exactly how it goes in.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I'm the man for the job.
Can you drive it over?
Let's bring it in.
Talk about safety for a minute. ESC, or electronic stability control, it's an amazing technology to really give you improved safety and control of your vehicle. Now what it is, it's an onboard computer that monitors each of your wheels independently so that if you get into an emergency situation, maybe in the rain or the snow, the computer can take over and correct for a lot of things that you might do or the environment might do to you or to your vehicle. Now ESC, it's about half the vehicles in 2007, you might not have even realized it. By late 2011, every vehicle is going to have it. Now to keep it working properly, to keep your safety up, you want to check your tire pressures, make sure those are correct, your tread depths, make sure you've got plenty of tread, any of your other components, especially like shocks and struts. That's a major component in the system, and after 50,000 miles, you might have 75 million oscillations, so that's going to be wear and fatigue, so make sure to check all of those things, keep your car safe.
This tip is brought to you by KYB Shocks and Struts and the fine folks at Federated.
Welcome back to Two Guys Garage. Now we do have plus one. We've picked up Andre, who is a Corvette expert. And this car belongs to Curtis. We met him out at the car show, and he's got a slipping clutch that he's really feeling in about third gear.
Yeah, so we've got Andre here because this is a very complicated job. Normally on a car, you can take, engine, transmission, drive shaft, and a rear end. You can drop the drive shaft out of the way. That means you got room to push the trans back to get to that clutch. Well, on this, you got an engine, clutch, or converter. Then you got this, solid torque tube with a drive shaft going in, mounted to a transmission in the back. Well, it's all bolted together as one giant unit with the suspension hanging off the back. There's no space to be found in there. So there's a lot of pulling and, stripping of parts to get to that clutch. But Andre here has been doing this for a while. He's promised he's going to shave off hours off our time.
That's right. I've got some industry inside secrets for us, and we're going to share them with you and make this a easy breezy job.
So walk us through where we're at right now.
We've started by removing the shock absorbers. We've taken the upper control arms off, the exhaust system. We're at the point now where we're ready to lower the transmission and torque tube as a complete unit and remove it from the car to give us access to the clutch.
All right, so this should be interesting. It's going to take a couple of us. There's a lot of juggling, so come on and we'll see if we can't do it successfully. Yeah, now that's something you're going to do in your driveway, but with a lift, the proper equipment, and the proper guys with some skills, you could pull this off. Now we've got our whole transmission, our whole cradle here under our trans jack. And once we start lowering it, it's going to be unbolted. Now we got to hang on to it, and then Brian can start, lowering, and we're going to pop this sucker right out from behind that engine. Now we can get access to that clutch.
And we don't really have to move it that far. We want to get it down just far enough, and that's part of the secret, to get us access to the clutch so that we can change it.
That's right.
Let's go for it.
You ready for a wiggle and a jiggle?
Give it a wiggle and a jiggle.
Okay.
All right, coming down. And.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to go ahead and start moving mine a little bit.
Come on back just a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll start wiggling it back and rolling it back.
Easy. A little more?
I'm going to give you down a little more. You probably want to bring that middle jack down just a little.
Yeah.
Take tension off the torque tube.
Yeah.
And you'll feel it.
There we
You'll
go.
want to come
Perfect.
right back.
All right.
Now we're out. Okay, right there. Let's stop there.
Okay.
All right. And we can get a couple jacks under these corners here to give us a little bit of stability because, we're just pivoting. And now we can get in there and replace that clutch.
Excellent.
We haven't taken apart a clutch in a while, so I want to show you kind of all the components just to refresh. This is your flywheel, and it's held together with about 6 bolts that go around it. That holds your clutch basket. Clutch plates are inside. You got your slave cylinder up here, and that takes your clutch pressure. It goes through a fluid and moves your clutch plates in and relaxes it for you. So a few things you want to look for are fluid coming out of your slave cylinder. You want to look for debris coming around. You want to look for wear marks on the front of your shaft, and that looks okay going through your torque tube. So at this point, let's just go ahead. We'll take a screwdriver, kind of move the flywheel around so we can get to the bolts. We'll take those out, and then we'll have good access to the flywheel. We'll get that out of here too.
Brian and Andre are pulling all these clutch parts out. We get a chance to look up close, see how they work and what went wrong. Now, clutch works pretty much like a disc brake, except kind of in reverse. You've got an iron rotor in the middle. You've got 2 friction materials clamping, connecting the wheel to the car and ultimately stopping it. Well, we're going to go backwards. We've got an iron rotor essentially on both sides, but we've got a friction material buried right in the middle. Now, this is your clutch. The flywheel side bolts to the engine, of course, so this is always spinning with the engine. Now, this guy is just floating around in there, except that he's riding on the splines of the input shaft of the transmission.
Hit his head coming out.
Uh-oh.
Battle scars.
Why are you so clean still?
Well, I'm working on it.
Dirty in there.
I'm working on
Go
it.
wash up.
You go wash up.
Didn't cause any work, just playing around. Now, once we've got our clutch disc, kind of floating around in there, connected to the trans loosely, then we've got our pressure plate. This will bolt together, clamp it all as one unit. So this is fixed. The whole drive line is connected until you hit your pedal. The hydraulic fluid pushes on this cylinder here, and this guy pushes on these fingers. These fingers actually release the clamp load, let you shift your gears.
That's right. That's where all the action happens, is right in there.
That's right. Now, speaking of action, we've had some bad action in this clutch.
That's true. This particular clutch has a problem based on heat and wear, and those wear patterns are showing clearly on the flywheel and on the pressure plate with small dark colored bands all the way around the edges.
Yeah.
Those particular bands are what caused the deformation of the clutch and the wear.
Yeah, and we've got a 2nd to 3rd gear slip, and then when he really hammers on it in 3rd gear, right,
It loses clamping load, absolutely.
just letting go. And that spinning action is adding even more heat, so it's just a downward spiral.
It's just getting worse and worse. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can see, right across here the surfaces, how we've got our machine surface almost, and then almost a chattery. And if we look at our clutch, we can see almost some shiny areas, and then these dull areas where we're not even really contacting, and almost some fraying, maybe even some delamination.
Delamination of the fiberglass material, absolutely.
Yeah, now we gave Curtis, the owner of the car, the option to do, a factory replacement clutch was a really good piece, or an upgrade clutch. And of course,
you went with the upgrade.
Absolutely. So when we come back, we're going to do a side-by-side, show you the two and what the improvements are on the new one and get it installed. Hey, welcome back. We've got Curtis, our lucky winner. He owns this 2002 Z06 Corvette. Now he's getting a free Federated Auto Parts clutch. Now we let him pick. Did he want, the brute power, the stock replacement clutch, or did he want to upgrade to the Zoom? Of course, he picked the performance clutch. Now let's walk through, the differences between the two. So this is a stock clutch here. It's a diaphragm style, and here's our new clutch here, which is also a diaphragm style. Different number of fingers. It's okay. But what's interesting about the stock one is these extra springs here around the perimeter, and there's some extra sort of monkey motion going on inside. And what this is a self-adjusting diaphragm clutch. Kind of like brake shoes on the back, they've got self-adjusters and return springs. There's more stuff in here, and it's basically to kind of give you a consistent feel over the lifetime of the clutch in the vehicle, so everything seems pretty, solid, and then at the end of life it just sort of drops off. Well, there's more stuff in there, more things to go wrong. It can forward advance, it can prematurely wear out. So we're going to go back to a traditional, very simple, high performance, diaphragm clutch. So that's going to be, maintenance free, super simple, high torque capability. So we've got a little bit higher clamp load in our springs here and our fingers and the diaphragm. Now we've also increased the coefficient of friction slightly in our materials here. So between the clamp load, the coefficient of friction coming together, we ought to be able to transmit a lot more torque to those rear wheels, and that's what it's all about. So we've got all our new components. All we've got to do is put them back where the old ones came out, get this thing on the road.
I'm going to show you how to put the slave cylinder back in. Really simple, especially when you have a friend holding the flashlight for you. We've cleaned the shaft off, put a little bit of grease on there. We've changed out the pilot bearing, and it's just a couple of bolts. So this is really easy. And then we're ready for the flywheel.
One of the reasons why we did it this way was in order to give us access to this particular piece to make it easier to install the clutch assembly. Over here we've got the flywheel, which is prepped and ready to go, which we've cleaned off.
Flywheel side. Okay, it's just going to go this direction.
Now we're going to line that up with the dowel pins after we've cleaned it, and we're going to go ahead and install it onto the flywheel.
Oh, we're going to push it up in here. And hopefully it goes smooth so that we look really cool. There we go.
There. All right, we're looking good. Now we're going to go ahead and position that clutch plate inside there with our locator pin and go ahead and get the bolts started.
Now it's time to reinstall the whole assembly. I've got my robotic team here, just like the factory, and we just want to gently guide it in. It's going pretty good.
And we want to make sure we don't drop this.
Well, got it.
That's it.
Okay.
Right,
we just got to raise this thing up. We got an alignment pin here, a couple of bolts. Make sure our emergency brake cable is on the correct side. Push her up, and I think everything else is good up front.
All right, looking good.
Start running a few more bolts and put everything back together. Now we're going to take a break, so stick around.